DEI, IDG, woke, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same and it's all bad. And you can say, oh, most gamers don't care about this stuff. Well, true. I don't even really care about it. If a game's good, game's good. Where I care about it is when the companies themselves implement these DEI policies, these inclusive policies, because they're pandering, trying to make money. And who are they pandering to? What audience are they pandering to? I just want to point out, gamers, back in the day, before we had all this DEI stuff, were you not playing GTA San Andreas because CJ was black? I'm sure some people were. I know I didn't care. I thought CJ was badass. If he would have been an Indian guy, cool. GTA 4, Ballad of Gay Tony. So I don't understand why everybody has to be included now, why it has to be a policy. What they're really trying to do is trying to get an audience of everyone, and they don't really know how to do that. And I have proof that they don't know how to do it. Ubisoft says it right on their website. Diversity, inclusion, and accessibility. Straight from Ubisoft.com. Oh, and it gets juicier and juicier the more we go on. To create a video game, Ubisoft's teams around the world work together to push the boundaries of what's been done before and build an unforgettable experience for players. The journey from concept to launch requires collaboration, passion, and commitment. I don't think it actually requires passion. It should require passion, but in this sense, it requires the passion to make more money. We learn as we go, trying and failing and trying again before we get it right. How old is this company? How many times are they supposed to be trying and failing in a row before they're just a failure? They know their formulas. They know what works. They just won't do it because they have other agendas. And it's racist. And I'll show you when it gets racist. It's already kind of racist. It gets way more racist. That same creativity, growth mindset, and dedication form the foundation of our approach to diversity and inclusion. To truly have an impact, we must leverage innovative ideas and diverse perspectives to continue building a company and an industry that is welcoming to all. I don't want to go to a party that's got 6,000 people in a house. It's going to be a lame party for one, and it's going to be chaotic. There's going to be arguments, there's going to be fights. I want something that caters to just me and people like me, because not everybody's the same. Our vision of diversity and inclusion is multi-dimensional. What does that even mean? Like, it seems two-dimensional to me. There's one dimension to two dimensions, that's multi-dimensional. There's multiple. Is two a multiple of one? I don't know. That's why we've designed a strategy centered around 4 pillars: colleagues, culture, content, and community. Sounds like communism to me. For Ubisoft, putting diversity and inclusion at the heart of everything we do. So that means this racist nonsense is literally in everything. Like a virus. Because it is. Putting diversity and inclusion at the heart of everything we do means providing an environment where employees can thrive, building open-minded communities where players can connect, and creating games that reflect the diversity of the world we live in. Blah. We will not accomplish all these goals overnight. Just as it takes years of iteration to develop a AAA title, we will only become a more diverse and inclusive company by continuously improving, trying new ideas and learning from the results. It's a long-term commitment, one that we will tackle with the same passion and dedication that we bring to our games. Let me pull that back a little bit. With the same passion and dedication that we bring to making more money. And then we got colleagues. Oh, we want to build the most creative, inclusive, and diverse teams across all fields, blah, blah, blah. Culture, we will keep fostering a culture of inclusion where our teams feel seen, heard, and valued, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about your values. I don't want to see you. I don't care if you're seen. Content, we will create game experiences that push representation forward by embedding diversity and inclusion across our processes, increasing representation in our teams, and offering access to resources that help teams to build more authentic, inclusive, and accessible gaming experiences. That doesn't even mean anything. Everybody's been doing that this whole time. The fact that they have to say it and like, oh, it's a new thing, means that they're putting this at the forefront of everything. They're literally saying that. They're putting it at the forefront of everything. This is what they're focused on. They want a community, but they want everybody in that community so they can make money off of everybody while also pushing microtransactions in all of their games and expecting everyone to buy them because they're part of the community. This lady right here, Rashi Sika or whatever, I'm gonna just, Rashi is what I'm gonna say, joined Ubisoft as Ubisoft's VP of Global Diversity and Inclusion. And this is where things get interesting. You can learn more, and we're gonna read more about her story. Getting to know Rashi, I don't know, Rashi. Ubisoft's VP Global Diversity and Inclusion. In February of this year, Rashi joined Ubisoft as Ubisoft's VP of Global Diversity and Inclusion, a new position at the company that was created as part of an ongoing commitment to building an inclusive working environment at Ubisoft and in the video game industry at large. Rashi will be responsible for developing and championing diversity initiatives and inclusion strategies across Ubisoft's global studios and offices. So she's got her fingers in every pie, and she is the vice president of global diversity and inclusion, so she basically has a say on everything. Like, this needs more black people, this needs more Asians, not enough gays. Literally, that's her job. The Ubisoft news team had the chance to sit down with Rashi a few weeks after her arrival. She talked about her impressions of the company, how she became interested in working on diversity and inclusion topics. Basically, she came in and said, this company is racist and sexist, and it needs to change, and we're going to make it less racist and sexist. By the way, nobody is 0% racist and sexist. Everybody's got a little bit of prejudice in them, according to these people. Below is an edited version of this interview. Can you share a little bit about your education and career? Rashi. I studied mass media and communications as I have always been fascinated by stories that people tell in different formats. One of my first jobs out of college was joining a news channel in New Delhi called NDTV. I was mandated to produce India's first live telethon, raising money for the environment. The show was a huge success. Oh, raising money for the environment. That's so important. This lady is so important. Saving the world out there. I then moved to Mumbai to work in entertainment, which was completely new for me. I joined a small television production house to work, that was weird. I joined a small television production house to work as a supervising producer for Indian Idol, the local version of American Idol. And I got to produce a wide range of shows after that. However, I ended up feeling disappointed by what we were doing with reality television. I found that the shows I worked on were perpetuating a lot of stereotypes. It didn't sit right with me, and I wanted to change things, but at that point the industry wasn't ready for that change, so I decided to take a break and evaluate my next steps. So basically, she thought everything was racist and wanted to take it over so she could change it to be more inclusive and diverse in her values and mindset. Because everybody else sucks. And sure, but don't get mad when we don't buy your games. Uber was planning to launch in India at that time. This was in 2013 and Uber wasn't a household brand yet, but I gave it a shot. I was the company's first employee in New Delhi. I was first responsible for marketing and community in the region, and then I moved to work at the international HQ in Amsterdam about a year later to join the talent team. How did you come to specialize in diversity and inclusion? As an early employee, I was noticing that there seemed to be an archetype of what good talent looked and sounded like. Yeah, because it's what people liked, and they curate these things for what people like. And these people are like trying to curate things to what they think people like, or people should like, not even what they think people like. 'Cause that's what it used to be like. Now they just try and manipulate people into liking things, and when it doesn't work, they get mad and call us racist or sexist or whatever. If you want to slow this down and read it, here you go. But it's just a bunch of diversity and inclusion. Oh, everything's racist. Everything sucks. I'm here to change the world. And it's a lot. Here's something interesting. You arrived at Ubisoft on February 1st. What was your first impression of the company? Even before I started, when it was first announced I'd be joining Ubisoft, I received a flood of messages on LinkedIn, people reaching out with positive posts and comments. Now that I've arrived, team members have also been so generous with their time, spending hours explaining to me how the people and culture work. Everyone I've met has been really supportive and helpful. The passion and love for what they do is definitely something that stands out in first impressions. Additionally, the organization recognizes that change is important and embracing that in a positive manner. No, change is not important. Who says that? They were doing so good. They were on top of the world. Banger after banger. I mean, they had a couple of flubs, but they were still making banger after banger. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry. And then DEI happens. Around, 2020, 2021. March 17th, 2021. I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla was in 2020. And it was just starting. It was just starting to have all this stuff in these companies. Ubisoft, not the only company, by the way. It's in every company. It's in all of these companies that everybody hates, but still plays their garbage games because they're free mostly. But yeah, Activision, they have it. Literally, it's all the same stuff, same kind of people. They gotta have their token black people. Gotta have one of each race on the front page. I'm not seeing any gay people though, unless some of these people are gay. Some of these people are definitely gay, 100%. Like this person with, what is this? Vitiligo or whatever. Gotta include everybody, every single person. This person's character is that she has vitiligo. She is not a character that just happens to have vitiligo. No, this is her character. To be more inclusive. If you got a black guy in a video game with these companies, it's not a black guy. It is a character that is a black guy. And that's the character. It's not a guy in a big armor who just happens to be black. No, he is a black guy, because you know what black people like? They like graffiti and rap music. That tends to be like what every black representation in these kinds of things get. It's getting ridiculous, man. I don't buy these games anyway. I know a lot about the games that I play before I buy them. Which, sure, if you got some DEI in there and it's a good game, I'll look past it. I'll probably scoff at it a little bit. If it's a good game, I'll look past it. Like Baldur's Gate's got it in there a little bit. Pretty much every game's got it in there a little bit nowadays. The type 1, type 2 body types that are just male and female still. And everybody still acknowledges when you're in arguments that there are still two genders if you catch them. I think we're starting to get away from this stuff. I think this stuff's starting to fail, and I'm just waiting for what the next big thing is that everybody's gonna hate on, because it's always something, man. How are they gonna pander to nobody next? Because the people that they pander to aren't a big enough population for these games to be successful, or these movies, or these shows. You're pandering to the wrong audience, you morons. You got us to the point where even if there's a little bit, just a little smidge, if they're like, you got people freaking out if there's a white and black couple on screen, and that shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be freaking out about stuff like that, because I see it all the time. It's fine. Black people and white people can mix. When people are like, oh, it's in everything now, they're promoting race mixing, which I don't think that. I just see people talking about that. I don't see that enough for me to think that. By the way, Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, they had like diverse stuff. They just didn't have to be up in your face about it, because that wasn't a thing back then. But they had like the diverse characters. They had gay characters. Borderlands 2, Hammerlock was gay. You kind of don't really know that. You figure it out a little bit later through hints. I think that's the way you should do it. Don't make every character about their sexuality or about their race, and that be their only thing, or the main reason why you made the character. Like, oh, we gotta have a gay black character. What traits do we give him? He likes 70s dance music. Always doing stuff like that instead of focusing on character building, what makes the character unique, what the journey of the character. All right, I'm done rambling.